All right, so let's find a comfortable seat. And let's begin rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing focus and energy into the palms. We'll take the fingertips and gently brush them across the forehead, temples, and cheeks, brushing away any worries or expectations. Bring the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, you can float your hands down, either keeping your eyes closed or gazing gently downward. Extend your spine up tall, shoulders sliding back and down. Lift your heart with each inhaling breath. Sitting bones sinking toward the earth with each exhale. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibration. Take another deep breath in. Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning and set an intention for your practice, something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bringing your awareness back to the breath. Allow each inhale to bring you here, to this room, to this moment. Allow each exhale to release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the sides. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding and opening, relaxing and contracting. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding your lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. As you continue this full deep breath, gently begin to lengthen the exhale, slowing it down, allowing it to be longer than the inhale. Slowly releasing the out breath and waiting patiently for the end of the breath before filling the lungs with fresh oxygen. And then letting it go once again. Take one more full extended breath. And when you reach the end of the exhale, gently return to your natural breath, noticing any changes you feel in your mind or body. Remembering that our breath is always with us to help find those moments of peace and calm. Now bring your awareness to your right hand, allowing the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together. And bring those fingertips to your heart center, turning your attention deeper inward toward your heart, looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can float your hand down, gently open your eyes. And if you would like to switch your legs or change positions, please go ahead and listen to your body and do that. Get a little sip, I'm a little raspy. All right. With your next inhaling breath, let's scrunch the shoulders up by our ears. And as you exhale, press the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Once more, lift and squeeze, wringing out that tension. Exhale, back and down. Bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down. Tuck the shoulders back and down, lift the heart, lengthen through the crown of the head. Think about strengthening the muscles around the shoulder blades, really tucking them in nice and snug in the back. Noticing what may be similar or different between the two sides. Now let's press the elbows back toward each other. Lift the heart and the vision gently, and think about squeezing the center of the shoulder blades toward each other. Wringing out any tension. And we'll open the arms wide, turn the palms up, lift the heart a little more if that feels okay, and think about squeezing the lower corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. Breathing into the heart. If it feels okay, you can flex the wrists, pressing through the palms. Now let's bring the arms in front, crossing the right over the left. Bending at the elbows, hands back to back or left hand around the right wrist. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Notice the jaw and the neck, allowing them to be soft. Gently squeeze the arms together, pressing the elbows forward, breathing into the upper back. And gently lower and lift the elbows. Extending that stretch around the shoulders if that feels okay. And with your next inhale, if it feels all right, you can lift the elbows up higher, gently arching. And as you exhale, folding forward, being careful of the back, allowing the arms to just fall forward and the weight of them opening through the back. And then with your next inhale, come to the center. We'll unwrap the arms open wide, lifting the heart, squeezing those shoulder blades toward each other. And then coming in the front, left arm crosses over the right, bending at the elbows, hands back to back or right hand around the left wrist. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Gently squeezing the arms together and pushing the elbows away from you. Breathing into the upper back. If it feels okay, you can gently begin to lower and lift the elbows. Extending the stretch through the shoulders. And with your next inhale, if it feels okay, you can lift those elbows up higher, gently arching. And exhale, lowering the elbows toward the floor, being careful of your back. And with the next inhale, coming back to center. And unwrapping the arms, we'll bring the arms extended out from the shoulders. Tucking the shoulder blades in, we'll rotate the palms up. And then keeping the shoulder blades tucked, gently rotate the shoulders forward. So we're working on that internal rotation of the shoulder. Keeping the shoulder blades tucked down. And then we'll bring the hands to the heart. Interlacing the fingers. Let's press the palms out in front of us. Roll the shoulders forward, drop the chin around the spine. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lift. Gently arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And with your next exhale, keep the palms up and gently drop the chin. Softening the elbows, roll the shoulder blades back. Gently squeezing the upper corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. Wringing out those trapezius muscles. Release the back of the neck a little more if that feels okay. Jaw is relaxed. And listening to your body, if it feels okay, you could press those palms up a little higher. With your next inhale, lift the chin. And as you exhale, gently twist to the right. And we'll float the hands down. Left hand on the right knee, right hand behind the right hip. Lifting the heart, deep breath in. Exhale, gently twisting toward the right. Head comes around last. Hold and breathe, lifting and twisting with the breath. Keeping the left hand on the knee with your next inhaling breath, lift the right arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Right hip drops down toward the mat. Lift the heart, reaching the fingertips across the ceiling as you breathe into the side of the body. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And exhale back to the center. Take a breath in and out. We'll interlace the fingers. Inhale the palms up over the head. Exhale, twisting to the left. Float the hands down, right hand to the knee, left hand behind the hip. Lift the heart with your inhale. Gently twisting with the exhale. Head comes around last. Lifting your heart with each inhaling breath. Gently twisting with each exhale. Finding that edge between flexibility and inflexibility. Keeping the right hand on the knee. With your next inhaling breath, bring the left arm up by your ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Left hip drops toward the mat, lifting the heart, reaching the fingertips across the ceiling. Breathing into the left side of the body. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And as you exhale, come back to the center and take a breath in and out. Let's extend the legs out in front of us, scooting our feet down toward the end of the mat. So think about toes pointing up toward the ceiling, lengthening through the spine. Let's engage the quadriceps, drawing the kneecaps up and gently lifting the heels off the floor if that feels okay. You can also work with one leg and then the other. Hands can rest on the thighs or on the floor. Notice if you're kind of rounding, lift the heart, you can bring the hands back a little bit to help with that. Belly muscles are engaged, quadriceps are engaged, reaching through the heels. And with your next exhale, soften the legs. Inhale, lifting the arms up over the head. And exhale, gently folding forward. Hands resting on the legs, floor, or feet. Inhale, lengthening the spine by lifting the chin gently. Exhale, soften. Keeping the spine nice and long. Follow the breath, lengthening and softening. Finding those places in the back of the legs or the low back that feel tight. Sending the breath there and softening around them. Allowing your body to move with ease rather than forcing as you soften around each tender place. With your next inhaling breath, lift the spine up tall. And as you exhale, let's bring the hands back behind us, fingertips pointing toward the hips. We'll work with inclined plane or reverse table as our counter pose. So inhale, lifting here for inclined plane, or if you'd like to use reverse table, bring the feet hip width apart, bending the knees, and lifting here. So doing whichever version feels right for you today. With your next inhaling breath, we'll bend those elbows and lift the hips high. As you exhale, gently lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Ooh, I got a little cramp in my calf. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay. Elbows slightly bent, or continue coming up and down. Head extends out, hips reaching high, elbows slightly bent. And then we'll gently lower. Shake out those wrists. And then let's roll the rest of the way down, lengthening out the spine. Gently scanning up the body, noticing any parts that feel tired, achy, or sore. Honoring yourself and your body by listening to its messages. Pushing yourself to your edge, but not beyond it. Remembering that each time you do yoga, your body is a little bit different. Let's bend the right leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Lengthen through the neck, shoulders tuck under. Soften around the hip. Keeping the left hand on the knee, allow the right arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. And as you exhale, gently twist over the left side of your body. Vision toward the right arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip. Ease the spine into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center, extending the leg up toward the sky, taking a hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circle. Reaching through the heel, gently drop the sitting bones, allowing the low back to gently arch, feeling that stretch through the back of the leg. Then we'll tuck the pelvis, belly muscles draw down, and draw the leg toward the torso just as far as feels okay. Reaching through the heel, belly muscles are strong. With your next exhaling breath, if it feels okay, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe again if that feels all right. Otherwise, continue coming up and down or gently rest. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, you can add a little challenge by flexing the left foot and lifting it gently off the floor. Then you can also release the hands from the leg, engaging those belly muscles. Neck is nice and long. And we'll lower the left leg. Inhale, lowering the head and chest. Exhale, gently lowering the right leg. Once you reach the floor, take a breath in and out. And notice what might feel the same or different from the right and the left side. Let's bend the left leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Shoulders tuck under, neck is nice and long. Breathing into the left hip, gently softening around it. Keeping the right hand on the knee, allow the left arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. And as you exhale, gently twist over the right side of the body. Vision toward the left arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip, easing into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center, extending the leg up toward the sky. Take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. Reaching through the heel, gently drop the sitting bones, allowing the low back to arch. Now tuck the pelvis, drawing the belly muscles down, and draw the leg toward the torso just as far as feels okay. With your next exhaling breath, if it feels okay, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down or rest. Belly muscles are strong, reaching through the heel, neck is nice and long. And you can stay here or engage the right leg, flexing the foot, lifting it off the floor gently. And if you'd like, you can also release the hands. Gently lower the right leg. Inhale, lowering the head and chest. Exhale, slowly lowering the left leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. Let's bend the knees, placing the feet on the floor. Feet will be about hip width apart. And then we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh, gently pressing that right knee out to the side if that feels okay. Or if you'd like, you can lift the left foot off of the floor, taking hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Gently flexing the right foot as you draw the left knee toward the body, just as far as feels okay. Lengthening through the neck, softening the shoulders. Sending the breath to the right hip. Releasing any worries or frustrations stuck in the hip. Allowing them to float away on the breath. Now gently release that left leg back to the floor. We're going to keep the right ankle hooked over the left knee, bringing the arms out to the sides. And we'll drop the right knee over the left side of the body. So if it feels okay having it hooked under there, should help stretch through the IT band a little bit. If you want to slide it further down for a little more stretch, you can do that as well. And then we'll gently come back to the center and wrap the leg. And we'll cross that left ankle over the right thigh. Again, you can gently press that left knee out to the side if that feels okay. Or if it feels all right, you can lift the right foot off the floor, taking hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Gently flexing the left foot to protect the ankle as you draw the right knee toward the body. Sending the breath to the left hip. Neck is long, shoulders are soft. Releasing any anger or anxiety stuck in the hip. Allowing it to float away on the breath. And we'll gently release the right leg, bringing the foot to the floor, keeping that left ankle hooked over the knee, arms out to the side. We'll gently drop the knees to the right, vision to the left. And again, if it feels like you get more stretch of that IT band by sliding that left leg down a little bit, the knees closer together, you can do that. Or you can keep the ankle toward the right knee. Getting my own body parts mixed up now. Gently breathing into any of that tightness or tension. And with your next inhale, let's bring the legs back to the center. Unwrap the left leg from the right. We'll bring both knees over the torso into Apanasana, breathing into the belly. Let's spread the knees wide, slipping the hands behind the knees or reaching the arms between the legs, taking hold of the arches of the feet. From either position, bring the soles of the feet to face the ceiling. Lengthen through the neck. Low back sinks toward the mat. Knees ease outside of the ribs as far as feels okay. And consciously soften around the hips, letting go. Relax the muscles of the face as you surrender into Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. We'll lower the feet down, bring the knees back together. From here, you can either roll to your side or slip the hands behind the knees, kick the feet over the head, and gently rock up. All right, let's come onto our hands and knees. And if you'd like a blanket underneath your knees for a little extra padding, go ahead and add that. We'll bring the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Soften the elbows so their inner elbows are facing each other. Head extends out from the spine. Shoulder blades are tucked back and down. Belly muscles drawn up into a strong table pose. Take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting, spine follows. Exhale, rounding. Follow your breath. Strengthening with the inhale, releasing with the exhale. And with your next inhaling breath, come back to table pose. Making sure those elbows are soft, shoulder blades are tucked. Let's reach the right leg back behind us, flexing the foot, dropping that right hip slightly so the hips are parallel to the mat. Reaching through the heel, engaging all the muscles of the leg. If it feels okay, you could lift the leg a little higher. Lift the heart. And if it feels okay, extend the left arm out. Keeping that left hip stacked over the left knee. Right elbow is slightly bent, belly muscles are strong. We'll float the left hand down, draw the knee in, rounding the spine. And lower that right knee down. And shake out that right wrist if you need to. Softening the elbows, shoulders tucked back and down. We'll reach back with the left leg, dropping that left hip so the hips are parallel to the mat, flexing the foot, reaching through the heel, engaging all the muscles of the leg. If it feels okay, lift the leg a little higher, using the glutes, keeping the hips down. Lift the heart. And if it feels okay, extend the right arm out. Right hip stays stacked over the knee. Belly muscles are engaged. Keep breathing. Elbow is slightly bent on the left arm. And we'll lower the right hand, draw the left knee in, rounding the spine. And then lower the knee down. Take a breath in and out. Let's walk the hands out a couple of inches. We'll tuck the toes under and press the hips up and back into downward dog. Softening the elbows, rolling the shoulder blades back toward each other. Soften the knees and press back through the hips. Head is between the arms with the chin gently away from the chest. And if it feels okay, you can begin lowering the heels gently toward the floor, keeping the knees slightly bent. With your next inhaling breath, let's reach up through the right leg. And as you exhale, draw the knee toward the belly, shift the weight over your hands. Inhale, reach back, kicking that leg high. Exhale, knee to the belly, shift the weight over the hands. Inhale, reach back, kicking that leg high. Exhale, knee to the belly, shifting the weight over the hands. And then we'll put the foot back on the floor, coming back into downward dog. Notice where you might have been holding on tightly or adjusting the body to compensate. Try to soften in those places. Now let's reach back with the left leg, kicking it up high. And with your exhale, knee to the belly, shift the weight over the hands. Kick the leg up high as you inhale. Knee to the belly, shifting the weight over the hands as you exhale. Inhale, kick the leg up. Exhale, knee to the belly, shifting the weight forward. And then we'll plant the left foot, coming back into downward dog. Then let's bring the knees down to the mat and then lower the chest down to the mat. Can rest the chin or forehead on the mat. Let's bring the arms alongside the body. And then let's rock the hands underneath the thighs with the palms facing up toward the thighs. We're going to let the upper body rest on the mat as we lift the lower body. So you can let the shoulders roll forward. Feel the weight of the body on the mat. Gently press the pelvic bone into the mat. And with your next inhaling breath, let's lift the right leg behind us, keeping that hip drop down. Exhale, lower the leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. And with your next exhaling breath, lower the leg down. Take a breath in and out. Pressing the pelvic bone into the mat. With your next inhale, lift the left leg behind you, keeping that left hip on the mat. Exhale, lower the leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Oh, I think I was supposed to have you hold there. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe. Keeping that left hip drop down. Using the glutes to lift the leg. And then gently lowering the leg with your next exhale. We'll take a breath in and out. If it feels okay to do both legs and there's not too much strain on the low back, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, go ahead and alternate the legs instead of lifting them both together. So breath in and out. Pressing the pelvic bone into the floor with your next inhale. Lift both legs behind you. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Again, alternating if this feels like too much. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Once more, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay. Or continue coming up and down, or continue alternating. And with your next exhale, gently lower both legs. Take a breath in and out. We'll bring the hands out from under the legs, bringing them underneath the shoulders. And let's press the hips back to the heels into child's pose, rounding the spine. If that doesn't feel good for your knees, you can slide forward, bringing the hips over the knees into reclined puppy. So from whichever position you're in, make sure your forehead is supported on the mat or on your hands or on block. Breathing into the spine. Creating space between the vertebrae. With your next inhaling breath, let's shift back forward onto our hands and knees. Then we're going to slide the right knee forward, coming into sleeping pigeon. If this doesn't feel comfortable, you could add a blanket or a block underneath that right hip. If it still doesn't feel comfortable, you can bring that back leg around and you could do the cross four either seated or on your back. So we want to find a place where the hips are fairly parallel to the mat. So having that support of the blanket, if you feel like you're kind of up here, having a block or blanket under there allows you to really soften into it and release some of the tension around the hip. So bringing the fingertips to the mat, reaching that left leg behind you. Let's lift the heart, shoulders back and down. Strengthening through the back here. And then you can gently play around with the angle of your leg. If it feels better to have that foot in toward the groin, you can do that. If you want to get a little more stretch through that IT band, you can bring that foot out more at a 90-degree angle or anywhere in between there. And then as it feels okay, you can gently fold over the leg, finding that position that feels okay for your knee and hip and IT band. Coming onto the forearms, or if it feels okay, you can bring your forehead down onto the back of your hands. Breathing into the right hip. Breathing down through the IT band, through the outside of the thigh. Softening around any of those places where that tightness or tension is holding on. And then we'll gently press into the hands, bringing that foot back toward the groin. Can turn back toward your back leg. You can stay here, or if it feels okay bending that leg, you can also use a strap here, taking hold of the foot and drawing the foot toward the hip just as far as feels okay. Sometimes if we kind of do it slowly, breathing into it, if we're feeling that tightness. And then we'll gently release that leg. Tuck the toes under. Let's do another downward dog briefly. Releasing through the heels. And then coming back to the knees. We'll slide that left knee forward, coming into sleeping pigeon again on this side. Again, adding a blanket or block underneath that left hip for support, or coming into the seated version or on your back. Bring the fingertips to the mat, lifting the heart, shoulders back and down. Softening through the front of the right hip, strengthening through the back. And then bringing the hands back down, adjusting that leg to whatever angle will give you the stretch that you need today. On this side might be different than the other side. And then coming down to the forearms or onto the back of the hands. And breathing into the outside of the thigh. Softening through the hip, around the knee, anywhere where you feel that tightness. And we'll gently press back into the hands, bringing the foot closer toward the thighs, closer toward the groin. We'll turn back toward that right leg. And then if it feels okay, you can bend the leg, taking hold of the foot with your hand or a strap, and gently draw the heel toward the thigh. Oh my gosh, toward the hip. Stretching the thigh, that's what I was thinking. And then we'll gently release. Tuck the toes under, come back into one more downward dog. Softening through the low back, softening through the heels. And then bringing the knees down. We'll come back to a cross-legged. Actually going to have you bring your the soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana. We're going to work with a little balance pose. So make sure that you have space behind you in case you tip backwards. So we'll take hold at the ankles, or you can also take hold around the toes. Engaging the belly muscles. We'll balance back onto the tailbone. We'll inhale, extending the right leg out just as far as feels okay. Exhale, lower. Inhale, extend the left leg out. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale, lower. Can continue switching legs, or if it feels okay, you can work on balancing with both legs. Just take a few breaths, either alternating legs or holding both, engaging those belly muscles, rooting down through your tailbone. And then we'll gently lower down. Let's slide those feet forward a little. We'll slide the hands underneath the lower legs, bringing the hands on top of the shins or ankles, rounding the spine. And then we'll roll the spine up, shoulders back and down, and coming back to cross-legged. I hadn't necessarily intended us not to be up on our feet today, but that's kind of where we went. So just a grounded floor practice today. With your next inhaling breath, sorry, wrong thing. Reach the crown of your head up toward the sky. And as you exhale, drop your right ear over your right shoulder. Tuck the right shoulder back and down, breathing into the left side of the neck. If it feels okay, you could bring that left arm across the low back, adding a little extra stretch. With your next inhaling breath, bring the head back to the center and release the left arm. As you exhale, drop the left ear over the left shoulder. Left shoulder tucks back and down. Breathing into the right side of the neck. And if it feels okay, you could bring the right hand or along the back, the low back. Breathing in, gently letting go. And with your next inhale, lift up tall and gently release the right arm. As you exhale, turn your chin over your right shoulder. Hold and breathe. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale the chin over the left shoulder. With your next inhale, come back to the center. And exhale, letting the breath go. Let's bend the knees in front of us, coming to the center of the mat. You can take hold behind the knees, round the spine, and gently roll back. Lifting the feet up toward the sky, can rock your hands or a block underneath the hips to support the legs. Ankles and knees are soft. Lengthen the neck, gently breathing into the belly. Let's bend the knees, rock the hands out from under the hips. Bringing the hands to the knees, you can make small circles with the low back or just rock side to side, whatever feels best for your back at the moment. And then if you'd like one last twist, you can bring the arms out at shoulder height, knees together, gently dropping the knees to the right as the vision comes to the left. And when you're ready, inhaling back to the center and exhaling the knees to the left, vision to the right. And with your next inhale back to the center, and gently lower the feet down. Extending out into Shavasana, you could add a bolster under your knees, or if that doesn't feel good to have the legs extended, you could have the knees bent, feet on the outer edges of the mat, and resting the knees toward each other. So finding that position that feels comfortable for you, covering up a little if that feels good today. Arms slightly away from the body with the palms turned up. If your legs are extended, have them about hip width apart. Tuck the shoulders back and down. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes. Loosen your jaw. Gently bring your awareness back to the breath, allowing each inhale to fill you with a sense of peace and calm. Allowing each exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. Release your muscles from the bones, rendering them to the earth, feeling its strength and support beneath you. Let the breath bring you back to your heart center, reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself. Sending that loving kindness to each and every cell of your body. Honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, you can gently bend your knees, roll to your side, and rest there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. In our world, in our communities, in ourselves. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today.